right now.
People aren't very confident that Montreal's got this thing in the bag.
That's right.
We all know. But there's just something going on. Vegas is the better team. We all know that. They check pretty much every box. But I just think Montreal's got God on their side.
How about that?
Why he's not on the Golden Knights side is something we're going to have to talk about later. Well, how else do you explain it?
No, but I got some ideas.
How else do you explain what's going on? Vegas is better. Wait a minute. Maybe because it's Sin City.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Happy Thursday, right, Moose? Thursday?
Sure. I always lose track.
I know. You had one of those the other day.
I just know it's Game 6. I don't know if it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Day. It's game day.
It's game day.
Thank God every day is game day. Don't mind me, everybody. I'm just tweeting the links to watch and listen to this program today on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube. Listen live at rodpedersen.com. But away we go. It is episode number 513 in Canada's daytime sports talk show. And hello to Canadian sports fans around the world. Good morning to the Knights Nation, if that's a thing. You see what I did there, Darren?
I did.
With my shirt here today.
I like it.
Because you don't normally see me in T-shirts, so I wore a little long-sleeve black jersey here and slipped my Uniting Canada T-shirt over it because it's game day, Vegas at Montreal tonight.
I love it. You know, and people ask me, what are you doing tomorrow at 6 o'clock? Or what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, every day, same time, it's a game. So I'll be in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Pretty much on schedule every day at 6 or 7 o'clock Mountain Time.
It's going to be a fun day leading up to Game 6 tonight, Golden Knights and Montreal Canadiens. Fun day on this show because we had breaking news, which I'll get to in a moment. Let me just say that our guests today are Julie Stewart-Binks, longtime friend of ours out of New York. She's in Manhattan. She hosts Drinks with Binks. She is ESPN, Fox Sports 1, CTV Regina, Barstool Sports alum. Going to be great catching up with JSB. She wants to talk some Stanley Cup playoffs. And the ageless, the peerless James Duthie will be joining us from, should I say the host of Insider Trading?
Yeah.
Would that be the number one thing to say?
He's the host of TSN's hockey coverage.
There you go.
Right.
How about that? So
How
James
about
Duthie,
that?
there you go. And that's actually perfect to get his breakdown on this because the breaking news today of two things. You tell me which is more exciting. The Seattle Kraken named their first ever head coach this morning, and it's Dave Hakstol. If I'm even saying that right, he's not even a household word. And for those watching today, I apologize to those listening because you won't see it, but you're going to get a lot of this, Dupes. The old half shrug from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to poo-poo the hiring of Dave Hakstol in Seattle like the people that are blowing me up my phone saying he failed miserably in Philadelphia. Who is this guy? He's been an assistant coach with the Leafs. What have they done? That's what the NHL people are texting me today about Dave Hakstol. And I'm You know, on the day that they're hired, how can you say how it's going to go? I'll be honest with you, when they have this news conference, I always say the signings, the hirings, Darren, with the general manager or the team owner, they're like wedding photos. Everybody's smiling. And you're like, over half of these are going to end in a divorce. These are the exciting days. Okay, so let's hope for the best for Dave Hakstol. And I think we'll find out throughout the course of today, the next 24 hours, why Ron Francis wanted to go with him over the Mike Babcocks of the world or the Rick Tockett's of the world. Didn't Eddie Lack say here a few weeks ago that Rick Tocchet was going to Seattle? That was the plan after mutually agreeing to leave Arizona, which I don't think it's ever mutual ever. But
I know. But this is like the wedding where everyone's whispering in the back, oh, they're never going to make it.
Exactly. Yes.
She's going to stay with him, right?
What does she see in him?
What does she see in him? Yeah, exactly. You know.
Glad I didn't spend a lot on the present.
Yeah, no kidding. I attached the receipt inside the box. I think we should be happy. If they see something, clearly you don't get to be a head coach in the National Hockey League, whether it's in Philadelphia or an assistant coach in Toronto.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Unless you know what you're doing, right? And a lot of times it just doesn't work. Sometimes the environment doesn't work. Sometimes you get an ownership group that doesn't let you coach the way you want to coach and really let you do what you thought you were going to be able to do in the interview. So you can't just say he failed here, because there was a reason he got there in the first place. So clearly there was something in the interview process that they liked. I mean, are we sitting here thinking that Ron Francis doesn't know what he's doing? right?
No.
That
No, we're
Ron
not.
Francis can't find good hockey people? I don't think we're saying that. So, hey, look, if you trust Ron Francis, then trust the hire for now until we see otherwise.
Are we live on YouTube, boys? We are now, Clark said. Okay, because I just called it up and I don't see where we're live on YouTube, but hit refresh. Okay, you know better than me. Joe Lazito is watching in New York, and he says that Dean Chenoweth would have been a great fit in Seattle. Old Chinny. Remember him? But you know what? He's got a pretty good deal in Carolina. He's an assistant coach to Rod Brindamore there, and Dean Chenoweth, I would think, has designs on being a head coach in the National Hockey League, but it's not going to be in Seattle because today they hired Dave Hakstol. And the other breaking news today, and you're going to get the half-shoulder shrug from me here, is Robin Lehner first off the ice in Montreal this morning at Bell Center, the morning skate. You know what that means? The Panda will start in goal, Game 6, for Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, tonight at Montreal. Darren, here's my take on Robin Lehner starting tonight. Are you paying attention?
Yeah. Half-shoulder shrug.
It's the half shrug. If they don't play better in front of him, it's not going to matter who's in goal. It will not matter. Flower, Robin Lehner. But I will say this. I was pretty happy watching SportsCenter this morning pounding away on the old Bowflex Max, and the panel just roasted Mark Stone. Roasted Mark Stone, the captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm going, you know how this works, right? The Golden Knights will be in their hotel room with SportsCenter on 24/7 like we all do when we're on the road, and Mark Stone's got that pounded in his head every hour. And then all his teammates are like, hey, Stoner, turn on TSN. They're roasting you right now. So if he didn't see it by accident, they would have told him. And an angry Mark Stone can only be a good thing, I would think.
I would think so.
From a Vegas perspective.
Well, and that's where you find out, right? You put some pressure on, and either you're going to crumble or you're going to step up. And, you know, it reminds me a little bit of the third period last night. I know you're probably going to get into the game and your topics, but
if I ever get to them.
When Matt Barzal, in that third period, he had like 2 or 3 shifts where he was the only guy who touched the puck.
Yeah.
And he was moving. He was shifty. That's Matt Barzal that we know, right, and love, and that's elite Matt Barzal. He's not there on a consistent basis. He's not elite yet, but he has elite potential. And he was elite in that third period, and the team followed, and they willed themselves to victory. If Mark Stone, sees this, gets that fire going, and turns into that, he's going to be dangerous tonight.
Stuart Dyman.
Yeah.
It is now an elimination game for the Vegas Golden Knights. How about this from Hamilton? Mel McGuigan's watching on Facebook and says, hello from Hamilton. Great show as usual, Rod. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate it. From the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, good morning from Ohio. And Jennifer Illingworth down at the Four Seasons Sports Palace says, good morning, crew. Isles win. So let's get serious. That's our breaking news today. Robin Lehner starting tonight in Game 6 for Canada's team. And Dave Hakstol is the first ever head coach of the Seattle Kraken. Please hold your applause. Quick 6 show topics, please. Director Jordan, if you don't mind. Jeff Kozak writes in and says, how is your draft going? Any of you at the top? Well, I've gone from the lowest spot. I was dead last out of like 457 spots. I've moved up to like 200. And I did pick Vegas Islanders Stanley Cup Final. So I'm hanging in. I still got a chance to win this thing.
That's good. I have no idea where I'm at because I don't have
gave up.
I'm at the bottom. I'm way at the bottom. But this actually is a good reminder. I know Nelson's watching, our content creator.
Yeah.
We got to do a top 5, bottom 5, which we did for the draft.
Yes.
We got to do that again. So if we can get on that, that'd be great.
The warm-up, of which you're currently watching, is brought to you by Ecol Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Ecol Electric, let's get to work right after coffee. Wayne in Victoria, BC is watching. He says, I'm sitting in my den with my new United t-shirt from the RP shop. I love it. That's very cozy jersey, eh?
Oh, yeah. Soft.
Very soft.
Yeah.
Yes. Very huggable. Okay. Our number one topic is the Islanders beating Tampa Bay 3-2 in overtime last night, which frankly I expected to happen. I picked Jordan Eberle to score for the Islanders or Braden Point for Tampa Bay, and it was Beauvillier, of all things, on a turnover in the Tampa Bay zone. And what did we see last night? Andrei Vasilevsky is, in fact, human. Mm-hmm. You can beat this guy. The guy they call, how about that, Vazzy? So now it's a one-game showdown in Tampa Friday night. What's coming out of this series is this. Kucherov leaves the game in the first period. It was the first minute, wasn't it? He took the cross-check from Scott Mayfield, and I just laughed because I find that kind of stuff funny. And he went down, and I think he broke his ribs. And it was right in front of the referee, and there was no call, and now Kucherov is out potentially for this series. Apologies to Tampa fans, but I'm like, this is so on brand with NHL officiating in these playoffs. Isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to go down that road today?
It really is. Well, I mean, it's a day that ends in Y. Why wouldn't we? Right? I mean,
wow.
Which is typically not what we do, but man. I mean, it wasn't. It was a cross check. It was right there. It broke his rib, so I can't say. I can't say it wasn't a bad.
Why am I laughing?
Wasn't a bad, because I want to say it was nothing. It was a regular battle cross check, but it was bad. It was bad, and unfortunately, but there were some good kills in that third period by New York. That one high stick and that Matt Martin took, and there was a few, but yeah, that was one that changed the game with not having Kucherov.
We only got a few moments left, as a matter of fact, here in the warm-up for Recall Electric before we bring in JSB. But here's what I'm thinking, because I'm cheering for the Islanders, but I don't really care. I want Vegas to win the Stanley Cup, but I'm like, you can break a guy's ribs and knock the leading scorer out of the playoffs? Then let's run Carey Price tomorrow night. Apparently we can do that. That's the first thing that I think. Is that bad that I would think that?
Who are you dressing that's taking that shot and take your 5 minutes?
Anybody.
And just
Kolazar, Ryan Reeves. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying you can't be thrown in jail for thinking. That's what I thought. Point 2, Vegas at Montreal. I guess we covered that, eh? Point 3, the Saskatchewan Roughriders post a $7.5 million loss in 2020. That was announced yesterday by the football club. And if not for the Ottawa wage subsidy, they'd be curtains, but they got the money and they're kicking off. I thought they'd lose more. Wasn't the projection $10 million?
Yeah.
So I don't have any more to say about that. Point 4, the CEBL tips off tonight. We're excited, aren't we? You can watch this on the league website streaming. CBC Gem, I believe, will have this broadcast tonight of the Niagara River Lions at the Ottawa Blackjacks. Get on board, folks. Our good friend AJ Jakubic, you've seen him on this show many times, the voice of the Red Blacks, is also the voice of the Blackjacks. I talked to him recently, and I said, what the hell do you know about basketball? And he's like, I know basketball. I grew up playing basketball. So what do you know? He's calling the game tonight from TD Place in Ottawa. Saturday, the Saskatchewan Rattlers, our favorite team, visit the Fraser Valley Bandits, so get on board. And there's a season preview right now at rodpedersen.com written by Matthew Winnick from the CEBL League office. So it's tip-off tonight. You're looking for something else to watch. You're a Hoops fan. Watch Niagara at Ottawa. And I'm grabbing my phone because our poll question today is, are you watching the NBA playoffs? Or are you following the NBA playoffs for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center? On Twitter, 68% of you saying no, you're not. And look at this on Facebook. Tell them what they've won, Bob.
Yikes.
82% say no, they're not following the NBA playoffs. Now that, by the way, doesn't matter. You know, if we did this poll in America, are you following the Stanley Cup playoffs? People would go, the what? I think it would be 80+% saying no, maybe 90+% saying no. So it doesn't matter. The vast majority of our respondents aren't following it. Doesn't mean that we can't or that you can't. The Milwaukee-Atlanta series is exciting. Atlanta won on the road in Milwaukee last night.
That's right.
Clippers-Suns, come on. Two teams that have historically been junk in their entire history. Well, Game 3's tonight. Phoenix is at L.A. Suns have a 2-0 lead. I'm following it. I'm just finding out that really not a lot of others are. But that's their loss. Mm-hmm. But if hockey's on, I'm watching hockey. And by the way, while the Blue Jays have won 4 in a row, how about that?
How about that?
Are y'all going to come back and go, wait a minute. Rod was right when he said it's just a swoon. We're overreacting. They never say that, right? They never come back and go, Rod was right.
Not often.
Not too often.
No.
And point 6, CFL crowds in Ontario. We're following this pendulum, this yo-yo Lisa McLeod, the heritage minister, come out yesterday and said that she thinks she's optimistic that there will be crowds this summer. And you know that everybody in the CFL is just clinging to her every word. All the politicians, all the health people, even the prime minister. The fans just want to know whether they're playing or not. And I read that quote, 3 Down had it. And it's like, she's like, we'll announce the crowd capacities in an appropriate time. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I know.
What does that mean in an appropriate? I'd say now's an appropriate time.
That just means that they don't have an answer now, so they're pushing it down. It's language, right? It's language. We don't know what appropriate time means, so what are we going to do? It's just language and PR, right?
It's exactly what it is. I appreciate Chris in Toronto bringing this up, and he says, Chris Bird says, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but 751 dead children in Cowessess, Saskatchewan are on my mind today. You're not being a Debbie Downer, and just so you know, you spelled it wrong. It's Cowessess. It's literally just down the road from us. The chief of the Cowessess First Nation is a good friend of both of ours, Cadmus Delorme. We talked about this in our morning meeting. How are we going to handle this? And I'm glad that you brought it up. We're not ignoring it. We're going to mention it. But what we've been doing here for over 2 years is to talk about sports and try and keep it on the sports discussion. We're as upset as anybody. I'm speechless. I don't have any words for this. Kamloops was horrible. This is exponentially worse, and it's just down the road from us. I'll find words in time, but I don't have them this morning. I appreciate you bringing it up, and we wanted, Darren, I'll give you 30 seconds if you don't mind. You wanted to acknowledge it, but I don't know what to say. There's no words.
There's not. We were sitting around my office this morning, and you read 751, and I think my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
Because we learned yesterday, it came out, that it was worse than Kamloops, like a lot worse. And I didn't think it was that bad. You just don't expect. You don't know how bad. And I mean, today we can't control what we did in the past, but we can control how we react to what we found out and what we do next. And I think that's what's important. But I'm seeing it from all of my friends. Whether it's Michael Linklater or Craig McCallum or Cadmus at Cowessess. It's my heart breaks for all of them and everybody else. And it's in my family, too, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
We'll be back. This has been the warm-up for Recall Electric. JSB joins us from Manhattan next. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. You're watching on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook. And 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.